What if I told you the next Grow Garden update is actually going to be way bigger than anyone expected? Now, if you have been obviously frustrated with the Busy Bee update or felt like there's a few things that just needed patches or buffs or nerfs in some situations, and you want to see what's coming next, in this video I'll be showing you all of the latest leaks, including brand new gear, major fixes teased by Jandel, and a new return of the fan favorite meteor shower in the night mode. Now, obviously, these changes would completely transform what we're going to use for making money, so make sure you do stick around, because at the end I'll show you exactly how you could prepare to make bank. And also, we do have a giveaway once again as always later in the video, so make sure you do stay till the end. All right, so in the Busy Bee update, what's probably going to get fixed? So starting with the basic facts. So the Busy Bee update dropped with a lot of hype. The community quickly found issues. There's visual bugs, literal bugs. There's also been obviously they hit like 12 million concurrent or something wild, which is huge. But so the Busy Bee update came out, and then start for like the honey compressor, right? This thing to like do anything, right? Also, is it supposed to say comb presser? I just noticed that there's a chance it's not supposed to, but anyways, so pollinated fruits are easy to get obviously, but you deposit them in this thing. Now the only issue is that you have to wait 3 minutes every single time you do this, dramatically slowing you down. Now you can do macros and whatnot to just AFK do this, but once again, like still that doesn't negate the time that it's going to take to just sit here and do this over and over. Then we have the queen bee stock, which is like so rare to get anything good you want, and then on top of that it refreshes every hour, so it's like every freaking hour just to not probably get the thing you want. And then we also have missing events. So obviously the removal of the night and blood moon means the celestial event or the meteor shower was also removed, which means there are fewer ways to get like better sell value plants, unless like you get shocked on something, you're not really going to get a high value on your plant. And then additionally, it's also just like a bit bland, because now there's like not as many mutations you can stack to get better sell value, and it doesn't really make it feel more necessary to stay in the game longer to grind mutations, which I guess could impact their player count. But what the Jandel did say, he responded fast, so they are going to reduce the honey time shop. I don't know by how much or in what way they're going to do that. They could make it to where you can put in more or put in a different time rate or all that. They did also cut the bee shop. They are going to cut this down to restock every 30 minutes, and they're going to bring back the night meteor events, I believe. So he has been listening to feedback and is going to be rolling out rapid fixes, often I usually believe within a day of these major complaints. And then secondly, we did have major leaks that were released, but I was talking about a giveaway earlier, so obviously we're going to be giving away 10 seed packs, not obviously 10 of the bundle, just 10 in total. 1 winner obviously, so I guess just the full bundle. To enter into the giveaway, all you got to do is subscribe and comment your username. I will check obviously if you are subscribed, so make sure you do subscribe before commenting, and then I'll enter you into the poll or whatever. So the main leak that we're looking at is the pollen radar honey gun gear. One of the biggest new features coming is the pollen radar, also called the honey gun. So what this does is it will highlight all pollinated items around you, let you collect all pollinated crops at once, massively spreading up honey farming, and has about 20 uses per item. Now this has been leaked in screenshots, I believe, which is a very massive update consideration. This is also going to be very helpful when it comes to just being able to collect all of these crops without having to cycle through all of your crops. So I could just go through, click here, come over here, use it again, and then come over here, use it again, and then have all the pollinated plants, and then go back over and just grind trading in all my plants. Now how you'll get it. So the pollen radar will be the new gear item, likely available in the queen bee shop as reward for the upcoming event, or a buyable thing. And then expect it to be obviously limited use. So if you plan to use it, you'll need to activate it from maximum efficiency. So if say you're in over here near my peppers, I know for a fact there's not around 20 pollinated peppers in this area. So I need to probably try to get better value out of it by activating it maybe over here, just to make sure I do pull all the pollinated ones rather than only some and not get full value out of the item. And why this matters. So this item directly addresses the biggest annoying complaint about the manual collection and having to go around collecting all of these things. This was once again just a complaint people had where they're oh, it's too hard and this takes way too long to do anything, which I guess is understandable, because it is kind of a pain to go back through and try to collect this pollinated one right there, and then have to find another one, especially if you are trying to grind money like me and you accidentally spend all of it, right? And you have to redo this. So the next thing we're looking at is the return of the night or meteor event. So this one was a big was with the community. They were very mad about them removing specifically the meteor shower. Like, obviously it's understandable to remove the night events. Like, that was an event that they only momentarily brought back just to get like people to shut up while they worked on the rest of the update, right? But what I'm looking at is they're bringing back the maybe the night events, so like the Twilight shop, and then like that would allow you to buy moon mangoes, celestial berries, and then get seed packs to maybe get moon blossoms. The only annoying part about that is that will dramatically decrease the value that these plants have, which I would not like to see, because once again, I do believe these should be gone for good so that they stay at a higher rarity rather than bringing them back and making their actual value decrease even further. But the one good thing is they're going to bring back the meteor shower, which further brings in this. But also one other thing is I would also have another shot to get the raccoon. That is like the only plus side, I believe. Like, I've been obviously still trying to go through hatching all these things, but that doesn't mean I'm making any good progress. The next thing is going to be, so why this is like a big deal. So with this though, there were like the main events whenever you were grinding money. And so what it used to be was you would plant down your things, use the sprinkler glitch to make them really big, and then you would just AFK mutations till you got them frozen, shocked, and celestial, collect everything and sell them, and that would be the best, like most optimal way to make money fast. And this did work. You could literally make hundreds of billions at a time, and it was really overpowered. But then they did, obviously, like always, nerf the crap out of this by, I don't think the sprinkler method was nerfed, rather, or like patched or fixed rather than just nerfed, obviously. So it still does work, I believe, but not as big of a rate as we used to see it as. But additionally though, if we have the celestial one come back, so the celestial, if you do want to check this out, I have a value or a crop thing right here. So this is a crop calculator. You can see the values of a lot of the stuff. During it, we had the night event, right? So let's just say on one of the bee ones, so the hive, this one is worth 45,000. So I think they nerfed it again. So they buffed it and then I think re-nerfed it. Let me actually check that real fast. So they buffed the hive plant to be literally worth like on par with this is a normal size one, with a candy blossom. So this one sells for, oh yeah, 60,000. Okay, that makes sense. So they nerfed it a bit. But back to my point, what this would do is, if you look at this, if you were to get, say, pollinated, shocked, frozen, right? And then say use the sprinkler method to like triple its base value to this. So it's gonna be worth 38 million. That's decent. But if you were, also able to put on celestial, now it's worth 80 million. You see the value increase, and this was ruined because once again, you no longer can do that. Now, obviously, if you had better stuff like celestial and then it was golden, right? Then immediately worth that much more. So then you see why the value of celestial mutation additional. So like if we go back to the 21, and if you remove celestial out of this, it drops down about half. So as you see, this was a huge problem when it comes to grinding money. Additionally, though, obviously, realistically, you're not going to get one that's golden that big, but you see the point. So they are returning this. And then additionally, we have the shop in gears upgrade. So with the queen bee shop upgrade, you'll most likely get frequent shop restocks, better items in rotation, and possibly that new gear coming in. And what we could also see is more amounts of stuff coming in stock, because I feel like even the blood moon and lunar shop weren't this dry. Like, this is horrible, honestly. Then possibly also the new shops. There's a theory based on leaks that a special nighttime bee shop could appear, offering even more limited stuff. The new high fruit, previously this was one of the worst things, is recently buffed to be one of the best ones. As I just showed before, it was re-nerfed, it was over buffed for sure. But what I do still think needs fixing is like bulk honey compression, right? They need to find a way to compress, I would say, honey in bulk. So like you could do, rather than 10 kilograms, you could do 100 kilograms or 1,000 kilograms, right? And you just feed that thing. Or you can take all of the honey or pollinated plants out of your inventory and it compresses all of them. Because obviously it seems like a 10 kg or like 1 kg that you put in comes out to 1 honey. So why couldn't you just like fill your inventory with honey, dump it all into the machine at once, and then like the more you add in, it takes like a certain amount of time or whatever, and then eventually it compresses, right? And then you get all of it at once. Then on top of that, I feel like guaranteed bee egg stock would be nice. So like ensuring at least 1 bee egg appears every time the queen shop restocks, so more players have a fair shot at both getting the queen bee and just getting basic pollen progression when it comes to the mutation, because it's really hard to get this and grind it, especially if you don't have bees. And then I would say how to prepare for this update. I would recommend not claiming all of your pollinated crops and just try to stack them up, right? Allowing you to effectively, because this most likely is going to be a mid-rolled weekly update, so coming out most likely Wednesday. And then additionally on top of this, I would recommend checking the shop and seeing if there's any change or whatnot. But anyways, though, thank you so much for watching. And if you do have any opinion on this, what you would like to see, I could, pitch the idea. Thank you so much for watching, and